Assalamu alaikum, dear friends, how are you? I welcome you here on my training channel. My name is Abdul Khalid. We, the human beings, are striving and struggling to achieve this and to achieve that, to become this like person and to become that like person, to reach there and to reach there. That is our struggle. We want to become happy. We want to get be respected by the people, and above all, we want inner strength. We want to have a self esteem. We want to enjoy the self worth as well. Many of the people does not know what is the self esteem, what is the self worth, and how important it is. As per my opinion, it is not lesser important than any other achievement, or maybe it is even more important. Suppose that a person has succeeded in earning so much of the money, not only the money, she has become a rich person, a famous person as well. But despite all that, all of us know that rich and famous people too, they are seen suffering from depression. Rich and the famous people too are seen committing the suicide. What is the reason behind? The reason behind is that they are lacking the self-worth. In certain type of circumstances and situations, they are lacking even more the self-worth and the self-esteem. So I believe that it is extremely important. It must be the number one priority if at all we want to live happily, if at all we want to feel satisfied in the world today. So dear friend, this self-esteem is the topic of our today's discussion, and there are certain things which are very important and which we need to practice if at all we want to become a person of self-esteem. What are those things which will help us a lot in creating the self-esteem? Let's look upon those particular items one by one. And it is not complicated, it is not difficult to understand and to carry it on. First of all, it is practice self compassion. We need to practice the self compassion. Treat yourself with kindness, with understanding and patience. That is the self compassion. What is the self compassion? It is treating yourself with kindness, with understanding, and with patience, especially during the difficult time. So, that is called self compassion. The first thing which we need to practice is the self compassion. And the second thing is challenging negative self talk. It is maybe surprising for many of the people that we talk to ourselves. Not only that we talk to ourselves, we talk to ourselves a lot. Rather, all the talks done with the other people, if at all we combine it, it will be lesser in volume as compared to whatever we talk with ourselves. So sometimes the talk we are having with ourselves, it is positive, while at certain other occasions it is negative, it is toxic, it is debilitating. So I think we need to keep an eye what kind of talk we are having with ourselves. So if at all, usually our self talk is a negative one, we need to counter it, we need to challenge it, need to fight it till we defeat all that. So, challenge negative self talk, replace critical inner voices with positive affirmation. There are inner critical voices as well. We need to remove it. Rather, we need to place another thing, that is good affirmation, positive affirmation. What are these positive affirmations, by the way? We need to choose. We need to choose. We need to pick. We need to generate certain very good sentences which are positive in nature, which are uplifting, which does create the motivation in ourselves, which does makes us confident person. So these are the positive affirmation. As for the negative self-talk is concerned, it should be removed. Rather, we need to replace it with what? With a positive affirmation. So that is the second thing. Now the third is focus on your strengths. We do have certain weaknesses. We do have certain strength. Although we need to contain the weaknesses, and we need to be aware of what are my weaknesses. At the same time, we need to be aware of what are my strengths, and not only that we need to know, rather what is needed here. Focus on your strength. We need to focus upon, we need to pay a very good amount of attention to our strength, so that we could retain it, so that we could further develop it, so that we could take the maximum advantage of all that. Recognize and celebrate your accomplishments and skill. Recognition on the one hand, recognition of what? Recognitions of our accomplishment, and recognitions of our skill, and recognition on the one hand, celebration on the other hand. We need to recognize it. What are my strengths? We need to celebrate it. What are my accomplishments and what are my skills? So now the fourth is, be set a realistic goal. Goal setting, very important. We must have the goal all the time, which are positive in nature, which are uplifting, which can make our life better. But these goals must not be over ambitious, must not be over ambitious. These must be the realistic one, must be attainable one. And I have seen the people, you would have seen it as well. There are people that who set very ambitious goals. What does happen? That they don't succeed in achieving all that. Once they fail to achieve that, it their self-esteem further plummets. So it's not good at all. So always set the realistic, always set the attainable, always set the reasonable goal. Now, now achieve small victories to build confidence. Achieve small victories to build confidence. That is set realistic goal. Now the fifth is, surround yourself with positivity. The people in the town, the people in that particular community vicinity, some of the people are positive, another some of the people, they are not positive. What we need to do is that we need to surround ourselves with the positive people. Spend time with the positive people who uplift you. Spend time with the positive people who uplift you. Some of the people are positive, another some of the people are negative. If at all we spend the time with the negative people, they will be discouraging us, demotivating us, and they will be a burden upon our ambitions as well. What we need to do is that we need to identify, we need to make friendship, and we need to get slightly closer to the positive people who does help us in the creation of confidence in us. That is positive people. Spend time with positive people who uplift you. Now the sixth is, take care of yourself. Yes, we cannot outsource it, we cannot ignore it at all. This must not be ignored, because the self-care, I think it is extremely important. Because the most important asset for me is me myself. The most important asset for you is you yourself. So in that context, I think we need to take care of the most important asset of ourselves, which is we ourselves. Take care of yourself. Prioritize physical and mental well-being. We need to make it a priority. We need to make it a top priority for what? Our physical well-being, our mental well-being. So that must be the must be the priority, must be the top priority. Now the seventh is, learn from mistake. Learn from mistake. Embrace failure as opportunities for growth. Dear friends and fellows, everybody makes mistake, and it's not bad at all. It is said that to err is human. I think it is unavoidable. I am not suggesting that we should be intentionally doing it, but it is unavoidable. So we don't need to scold ourselves at all. We don't. Rather, what is needed is that we need to learn it. We need to learn from our mistakes. That is, embrace failure as opportunities for growth, because the failures are actually the stepping stone toward the success. So now the eighth is, practice mindfulness. We do need to practice mindfulness. Focus on the present moment. Focus on the present moment. As for the past is concerned, there shouldn't be any regret at all. Not any repentance at all. Old good time. If it was a very good time, then too it is okay. I think we don't need to dwell on that. We need to learn. We need to learn from our mistakes, from our past, and that's all. That's the only rule of the past. As for the future is concerned, what we can do at the moment is we need to plan it. That's all. We need to pay attention to the present moment without judgment. We need to live in the, we need to live in, and we need to get totally engaged in the present moment so that we could perform much, much better. Once we are doing much, much better in the present moment, what is going to happen as a result? Our past will automatically become a good one. Our future will also become a very good one. Why? Because whatever we are doing at the moment, it will become past, in a single second. And the future will become good because we are working well. So that is how our present will be good one, our future will be good one as well. So that is actually that is practice mindfulness. Focus on the present moment and let go of self doubt. Now the ninth is show self gratitude. We have heard about the gratitude, being grateful to Allah Subhanahu wa Taala, because we have been given and gifted a lot. We must be grateful. How can we become a grateful person? By focusing on what good we are having, and by up to great extent ignoring what we are not having. If at all we are focusing what we do have, what will happen? We are not taking it for granted at all, because those people who take the blessing for granted, most probably they are going to lose it. If at all we are not taking it for granted, we are rather being grateful. It actually means that we will take the maximum advantage, we will take the maximum benefit out of what we are possessing for ourselves, for our loved ones, and for the other people. So that is being grateful. But here there is something different. That is the self gratitude. That is the self gratitude. I think we need to become grateful to be ourselves as well. Acknowledge and appreciate your work. We need to acknowledge our work. We need to appreciate our work. That is the self gratitude. It is extremely important. Acknowledge and appreciate your own work. Now the tenth and the last is seek professional help. If needed, consult a therapist or counselor for guidance. Every time if it is needed, I think we shouldn't hesitate to do it at all. We shouldn't procrastinate it at all. We shouldn't consider it as a kind of stigma. It is not a stigma at all, because those people who are seen opposing it, those people who are taking it as a matter of shame, they people are foolish people. They people are ignorant people. While the psychological problem, while the self-esteem problem, it is like if at all somebody is physically sick, but they are not consulting the doctor out of the shame. I think this is mere foolishness and nothing else. Here the tenth and the last point is, the seek professional help. If needed, consult a therapist or a counselor for guidance. Remember, self-esteem is a journey. Be patient, be patient, be kind, and be gentle with yourself as you work to develop a more positive and a more confident person. So that's all, because it is very, very important indeed. As far as self esteem is concerned, I think if at all we are lacking the self esteem, no matter how big the achievement we have done, no matter how much of the people are respecting us, I think it will be all in vain. So it is extremely important. It is not second to any other thing, that having a good self-esteem, having a good self-worth. So this is, in my opinion, the essential item for a happy and a good life. Thank you very much.